Did you know that the iconic Boston Celtics were founded back in 1946 and have consistently been the NBA's most successful franchise? Now that is saying a lot. Over the past 6 decades, they've seen several outstanding players wear green jerseys and win 17 NBA championships. This has allowed Boston fans the good fortune to witness some of the best players pace the floor throughout the Celtics' history, from current stars like Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to top 10 all-time players like Bill Russell and Larry Bird. So, let's pause to consider some of the greatest Celtics players in franchise history as the team enters a new era of basketball. Who do you think is the best Celtic player of all time? Who ranks in your top 3? First up, in no specific order, is the legendary Kevin Garnett. With the Boston Celtics for a whopping 6 seasons, Garnett has averaged 15.7 points, 8.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.2 steals, and 1 block a contest. Then in the 2007-08 season, Garnett's highly publicized move to Boston had an immediate successful effect. Who can forget when he famously led his team to victory, ending a 22-year championship drought? Insane, right? 22 years? Unfortunately, the Celtics haven't been able to capture another championship since then, and we wonder why. Well, it's not very hard to guess. They're missing Garnett. Next up, we have NBA player Bob Cousy. You may not know this, but many people first dismissed Cousy as an average local player, but thankfully, soon after, Cousy quickly won over his coach after winning over local supporters. As the league leader in assists per game for 8 consecutive years, the point guard immediately established himself as the coach, Auerbach's floor leader. Not too bad for a guy that was once unseen by virtually everybody. When the Celtics won their first championship in 1957, Cousy, who won league MVP that year, helped establish a true dynasty, a forever favorite. Remember when Sam Jones' Boston Celtics team won 10 championship rings? How could anyone forget? It's crazy that he had more rings than any team but the Los Angeles Lakers. Although Jones had excellent teammates, his statistics show that he contributed significantly to the squad during that fantastic era that we wish so badly we could relive. With an average of 17.7 points per game, Jones ranks 9th among Celtics scorers with 15,411. Jones had 92.3 win shares and an actual shooting percentage of 50.3%. Have you ever seen a player quite like Sam Jones? We don't think so. Okay, it's safe to say that McHale became one of the best power forwards of his time during an incredible 13 seasons with the Celtics. This is unquestionable. He was named to 7 NBA All-Star teams, 3 All-NBA First Teams for defense, and 2 Sixth Man of the Year honors. Impressive to say the least. McHale also spent time in Boston and was a member of 3 NBA champion teams, including the 1985-86 Celtics, who were recognized as one of the all-time greats. McHale was an expert at post moves, honing a skill set that led to his becoming one of the league's top scorers in the low post. We miss the days with McHale around, do you? Next, Bill Russell, one of the most outstanding winners in American sporting history, amassing 11 NBA titles during his 13-year career. Yes, you heard that correctly. 11 in just 13 years. Basically unheard of. He had a delayed start in Boston as a rookie because of his Olympic involvement, where he won gold. Russell also went on to help the Celtics win their first championship after joining the franchise, ushering in a period of dynastic success. Not to mention, he was an All-Star 12 times and received 5 NBA MVP honors. Thanks to his rebounding and shot blocking, he served as the dynasty's focal point. Russell was appointed player coach after Red Auerbach retired, making him the first black NBA coach. Before quitting in 1969, he won 2 more championships as a coach. Russell will forever be remembered as one of the greats. Next, does anyone remember when the Celtics and the Cowboys selected JoJo White in football and the Giants in baseball by the Reds? How often do you see that happen? Not very often. But then he ultimately decided to play basketball, spending 10 years in Boston from 1969 to 1979. White, an NBA All-Star 7 times over, was a skilled shooter who was also incredibly durable, appearing in a team-high 488 straight games. As a matter of fact, White was was crucial to Boston's championship victories in 1974 and 1976. Now, with John Havlicek on this list, it's fully complete. For 16 years, this athlete was a vital part of the club and a terrific player. He always gave every game his all-out effort and played with passion. Hondo led the Celtics in scoring with 26,395 points overall, averaging 20.8 points per game. Additionally, he's 4th in win shares, 5th in rebounds, and 6th in assists. Not too shabby, right? Another player who is hands down one of the greatest for the Celtics is Dave Cowens. In fact, Cowan holds an honor that only Bill Russell possesses. Cowens played a significant role in the Celtics consistently being a playoff contender. During his career, he contributed to the Celtics winning as many as 68 games. So the most memorable moment of his career, the 1974 Eastern Conference Finals matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks, is one that everyone remembers. In Game 7 between the Celtics and Bucks, Cowens led the club to the NBA Finals with 28 points and 14 rebounds. Finally, Cowens earned his second championship by defeating the Suns in 6 games in 1976. After the Washington Capitals disbanded, the Fort Wayne Pistons selected Sharman in the dispersal draft. But interestingly, before the 1951 to 1952 season, Sharman was eventually dealt to the Celtics for Chuck Scher. However, it appeared like the trade did him a whole lot of good. Between 1956 and 1959, Sharman played for the Celtics for 10 seasons and was the team's leading scorer. During his era, Sharman was regarded as one of the best shooters. A record 7 times, including 5 straight seasons, he had the highest free throw percentage in the NBA, until Ernie DiGregorio broke it in 1977. With 56 consecutive free throws made in the playoffs, Sharman continues to hold the record, and a fantastic legacy that still lives on. Did you know the most prolific scorer in the Celtics history almost played pro football? The Cleveland Browns and the Celtics selected wide receiver Havlicek in the 1962 NFL Draft. Thankfully, at the time, he decided to concentrate on playing for the Celtics after briefly participating in training camp for the Browns. And can you imagine if he actually played in the NFL, not the NBA? We cannot imagine a world where that happens. Early in his career, Havlicek revolutionized the sixth man position and frequently finished games for the Celtics. Havlicek also led the Celtics to victory against the 76ers in the Eastern Division Finals of 1968, making them the first NBA team to return from a 3-1 series deficit. Only adding to this greatness, when he retired, he was the all-time highest scorer within the Celtics. A pretty impressive track record, right? Paul Pierce, a small Kansas forward, was chosen by the Boston Celtics as the 10th overall choice in the 1998 NBA Draft. And this seemingly was the big beginning for him, as he turned out to be the best 10th pick of all time. Pierce also famously finished second in team history in value over replacement player, scoring 62.6. Last, but definitely not least, Dennis Johnson. Now, if you weren't already aware, the NBA Finals MVP in 1979 with the Seattle Supersonics played the greatest basketball of his career when he joined Boston in 1983. If you haven't seen any clips of this time, you really need to check it out. Nevertheless, he proved vital throughout his 7-year tenure, giving the Celtics veteran leadership, insane perimeter defense, and incredible playmaking. Boston signed Johnson to guard guards like Andrew Toney, but he was able to contribute on offense as well, after changing his style to be more of a playmaker than a scorer. Was there anything this man couldn't do? So, from Bill Russell to Kevin Garnett, these are arguably the greatest Boston Celtics players of all time.